8 turnovers. 8 turnovers. You did away with the turnover chain. And what have we seen since then? The turnovers have piled up like the number of jewels that your press release told me was in that turnover chain every single year that you got a new turnover chain. They lose to the Duke Blue Devils at home. And it is, first of all, a tremendous compliment to where this Duke team is right now, because the Blue Devils turned the ball over early. Like, Duke was not in sync to start this game. And not only does Duke storm back and take control of it after a bad start, they just beat them down in the second half. So that's where Miami is right now. 3-4, 1-2 in conference play, and getting run out of your own building by the Duke Blue Devils. They have lost 4 of their last 5 games. The lone victory being a 20-14 win against Virginia Tech. Florida State. Oh, Virginia is next, then Florida State, then Georgia Tech, then Clemson in Death Valley, then Pitt at home. Are the Miami Hurricanes a bowl team this season?
I'm not sure. There is so much about this game that is just wild to look at. Okay, eight turnovers, which is the first time that's happened since 2009. I think we said 13 years in an FBS game. That's kind of wild. Tom, you ever seen a game have 66 points with less than 700 combined yards? Because these guys pulled this thing off today. 336 for Duke, 327 for Miami. If you were live betting unders in this game because the offenses both look kind of like crap, you were pulling your hair out. Because they were just like, oh, look, hey, you don't need to have a good offense if you start with the ball on the opponent's 20 every time. It was like they were playing old school overtime for 60 minutes. It was wild. I don't know how many snaps were actually taken in the middle of the field today. There were some areas of Miami that I thought not necessarily were improved, but like, because obviously I took them on my sprinkle. I think Chip took them to lock up Duke. Like we saw this could potentially happen. And because Miami fans do not care about the program unless they're playing FSU or a really big team, because they're just huge bandwagoners and they go to the beach, like we said, or if it rains, they don't come to the stadium. So there's no home.
Always have to take shots.
There's no home field advantage there. It's a joke, right? You get like one billionaire and it's like, they're okay, cool. But like people don't actually go to the games. Every recruit gets their own row in the visitor section. All right. So, but there were some things I thought might be improving about Miami, right? I still like their defensive line. I thought their secondary was getting better. And ultimately, I thought the offense could be getting better as they were starting to get guys back. They got Jacoby George back today. They didn't get Zion Nelson back, I'm pretty sure, offensive line. They had another guy out on the O-line. But when the QB gets hurt, I was like, okay, that's probably not great. It just doesn't look like a well-coached offense right now. You turn the ball over 8 times. That's kind of an obvious statement. But did they downgrade offensive coaching? Because they don't look coached. It's crazy.
No, I've been harping on that since last year. Not a big.
Is it Cristobal though? Because we said the same kind of stuff about Oregon's offense through multiple OCs there, right?
It could be. It 1,000,000% could be.
Josh Gad is just one of the broils. Like, I know Michigan's offense doesn't look any worse without him, but I'm having trouble separating. Like, is it Gaddis? Is it just new stuff? Is it Cristobal? What is it?
Running back and wide receiver were better at Michigan than they are in their current iteration.
Sure. Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Can I read this? I feel like I have to read this. This is from Message Board Geniuses. It is from a message board that is not a 24/7 sports Miami message board, so I will not name it. But a user, a Miami fan whose name on this message board is Cover 3.
Yeah.
Left a message titled, "I caused mayhem in the blue lot. I fight at tailgates. I was walking to my car after the game, and a Duke fan started running his mouth to me. Big mistake. I'm not sure what exactly he thought what he was going to accomplish because he was unconscious within 10 seconds of yapping to me. His family was in horror, and there were a few Canes fans cheering me on as I drove away. My wife refused to get into my car with me and took an Uber home instead. F this team. How was your Saturday? So shout out to Kevin Clark, who clearly posts under the name Cover 3 on Miami message boards.
Are they a bowl team?
I hope it's a listener. And if it is, come on. There's no need to start fights and tailgates. Like it's a Duke fan beating up a Duke fan. It's like going to preschool and beating up a preschooler. What are you really accomplishing?
If he does end up having to do time for knocking this guy out, though, what we do ask is that you take all of your fellow cellmates' phones and you give us those 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. That's really what we need, right? Like that's an untapped market for us. Think about it. Just prison-wide population with those iPhone 5-star reviews. Like that could work. Are they a bowl team? Like, here's the problem. Okay, they're going to be favored over UVA.
Yes.
Because eight turnovers is not actually sustainable. Their offense was actually bad. I mean, 4.8 yards per play. When Garcia got in there, he actually hit some explosive pass plays to start. I was like, oh, maybe Garcia is actually better than Van Dyke. I don't know that he actually is, but the thought crossed my mind when Miami stormed back. Because if you look at what they did coming out of the third quarter, it was, 72 yards touchdown, 39 yards touchdown, 33 turnover on downs. And in the final 4 drives were just hilarity. I mean, fumble, pick, fumble for a total of 24 yards combined on 4 drives, which is bad. But, man, I do not think they're going to put it all together. It is not completely out of the realm of possibility that they do put it all together. And if they do put it all together, they're easily a bowl team. If they put it together 3 more times, are they going to be
easily is not part of this? There's no way that easily is part of put it all together, and there's no way that
no. I'm saying if they put it together, then they're easily a bowl team. I'm not saying they're going to easily put it together.
Well, I mean, you still have to get 3 wins, and that.
Yeah,
I mean, this comes down to them being 5-6 and hosting Pitt in the who cares like game of the week, where like literally is Miami going to show up for that game motivated to finish 6-6 and go play in the Sun Bowl or go play in, I don't know, whatever the bowl game that Miami would go to because they are a national brand. Like they're going to end up getting shipped out to California or Texas or somewhere outside of the ACC footprint. Maybe they go to Detroit.
In the West Texas.
Maybe they go to Detroit for the Little Caesars Bowl. But
here's the transition for you. Who's more likely to miss a bowl, Miami, Louisville, or Pitt? Because Louisville beat Pitt today 24-10 in a game that was much closer than that, but Louisville pulled away at the end. They're both 4-3 now, but if you look at the rest of their schedules, Louisville's remaining 5 games are Wake Forest, a James Madison team that's kind of fallen apart down the stretch here, but then they're at Clemson versus NC State and at Kentucky. Pitt is 4-3, which means it needs to win 2 more games, but it's at North Carolina, Syracuse, at Virginia, Duke, and at Miami. So of those 3 teams, which one's the most likely to miss a bowl? Because I have a feeling at least one of them will.
Do we know? Okay.
Miami, because Mario Cristobal was calling out the players in the post-game press conference, talking about if you can't execute, then you're not going to be on the field.
I think
not good
Miami. Yeah. Do we know what the injury was for the JMU quarterback? Because he didn't play today.
No, I do not know.
If he's out, it's definitely not Louisville. Like he's been playing really well. If JMU does not have him, Louisville will beat those guys. And then they just need to get I guess it's Miami. That's crazy.
I agree. Yeah, I know. And it's funny too because you think of the timing. And Oregon winning at UCLA. So Oregon looks fantastic right now. And then Mario's at Miami, and we're wondering if they're even going to get to a bowl. So it's been a good day to be an Oregon fan.
Been a great day to be an Oregon fan. Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't considered, spent so much time thinking about Oklahoma and USC fans and thinking about their coaches. I hadn't thought about did you see former Oregon coach Rich Brooks popping off on Twitter?
Yes.
No.
Rich Brooks said, "Congratulations to Oregon, tough win." I'm paraphrasing here. Congratulations to Coach Lanning. By the way, did anybody see the Miami score? I mean, goodness gracious.
Rich Brooks I love him on Twitter, man. He just does his own thing.
Phenomenal.